The first time I saw my husband, his gaze cut through me like a forensic audit. Elena Volkov, he said, my name a calculated entry in his ledger. Nikolai Baranov didn't propose, he'd acquired me in a hostile takeover, my father's signature traded for control of our crumbling empire. The wedding was a corporate merger performed in lace. When he kissed me, his lips were colder than the platinum band now circling my finger. Hatred doesn't suit a bride, he whispered, thumb wiping away my smudged lipstick with clinical precision. The cameras caught my flinch, only he felt my traitorous shiver. I told myself I'd never surrender. Then his hand settled at the small of my back as we turned to face the crowd, his touch burning through layers of silk and pretense. Smile, Solnishko, he murmured, the endearment at odds with his grip tightening on my hip. The vultures are watching. And God help me, I did. The penthouse air hummed with tension, thick with the scent of white lilies and the sharp tang of stolichnaya. Nikolai moved with predatory grace, pouring vodka into cut crystal glasses that caught the city lights. 2-hour arrangement, he said, offering me a glass with a smirk that didn't reach his arctic eyes. I accepted it, the chill seeping into my skin. Is that what we're calling extortion now? His fingers brushed mine as he reclaimed my untouched drink. I prefer to think of it as a rescue mission. The vodka disappeared down his throat, his Adam's apple bobbing. Your family name was one scandal away from ruin. I gave it life support. When his knuckle grazed the hollow of my throat, my pulse leapt traitorously. Still afraid of me? His fingers made quick work of the first pearl button. The gown gaped, revealing a sliver of collarbone. I held my breath as his gaze raked over exposed skin. Don't flatter yourself. His breath was hot against my ear as he undid the second button. I don't take what isn't willingly given. The lie tasted bitter between us. Tonight, I'm just inspecting my investment. The third button popped free. And I realized, the most dangerous thing Nikolai owned wasn't my father's company. It was my pounding heartbeat. By the second month, I'd learned Nikolai's laws like scripture. 1. Breakfast at 7 a.m. sharp, his coffee black, 1 sugar, never stirred. 2. Cold, and he'd leave without a word. 2. No emeralds. The earrings his mother wore the day she jumped stayed locked away, their absence louder than any warning. 3. The third button undone when we dined alone, his eyes would darken, but he'd never comment. The consequences were worse than shouting. When I skipped the shareholder meeting, he vanished for 6 days, leaving only his cologne on my pillow to taunt me. When I refused the scarlet dress, he came home smelling of another woman's perfume, his collar stained with lipstick that wasn't my shade. But the night I snarled, heartless bastard, over caviar, he didn't flinch. Recite Pushkin, he ordered, fingers skating up my thigh beneath the table. Every mistake earns a penalty. By stanza 3, his touch had turned merciless. By stanza 5, my voice broke. Nikolai's smile was razor-edged. Good. Now you understand, this marriage is the punishment. And the reward. The ballroom chandeliers threw diamond shards across Nikolai's sharp cheekbones as he guided me through the crowd, his palms searing through the silk at my back. Smile, Solnishko, he murmured when Anastasia slithered toward us, her venomous grin glinting. Or I'll remind you why we have a privacy clause in our contract. Her manicured fingers dug into my arm. How quaint, she purred, watching Nikolai slum. Our marriage, Nikolai interrupted, lifting my hand to his lips, made your father's steel mills mine. His teeth grazed my knuckle. Should we toast to your family's bankruptcy? Later, in our suite, my beaded gown pooled on the floor like a deflated dream. Nikolai used his tie to bind my wrists to the bed frame, the satin gloves I'd worn for appearances now serving a different purpose. Lesson 1, he growled, his mouth trailing where Anastasia's eyes had lingered. You wear my name. His teeth nipped my collarbone. Let them see you enjoy it. I arched against the restraints, not to escape, but to chase his punishing lips. The realization terrified me more than the gossip. I wanted the world to watch. The safe clicked open with a sound like a breaking heart. Inside, stacked neatly beside our marriage contract, were hospital invoices, each stamped paid in full in Nikolai's name. The dates mocked me, treatments beginning weeks before he'd, coincidentally, appeared at that auction, back when my father's cough was still something we hid. I stormed into his study, papers trembling in my grip. You planned this. Nikolai didn't glance up from his chessboard. The carved ivory pieces glowed in the firelight as he slid his queen across the board. Your father would have died bankrupt. His voice was calm. You would have buried him in a pauper's grave rather than ask for charity. The chess piece clicked against marble. So yes. Finally, he met my gaze, those arctic eyes thawing just enough to terrify me. I manipulated you into saving yourself. The room tilted. All this time, I'd thought myself the sacrificial lamb, when really, I'd been the king he protected. Checkmate. Mornings now begin with my lipstick staining his porcelain coffee cup, crimson smudges he never wipes away. The maids whisper about how he rotates the cup each day, ensuring the imprint faces him as he works. Anastasia's latest letter arrived scented with her signature jasmine. I snapped a photo mid-manicure, captioning it, "Zakso from your favorite wife," before hitting send. Nikolai's response vibrated my phone within seconds. Keep testing me, Sonishko. The consequences will be creative. But it's the nights that undo us both. When he cages me against his office windows, Manhattan glittering below like scattered diamonds, I no longer freeze. Tonight, as his hand fists in my hair, demanding answers, I drag my teeth along his stubborn lower lip. Who do you belong to? Each word gritted between kisses. I laugh, low, wicked, and bite down hard enough to taste copper. His growl shakes through me, hands scrambling for purchase on my silk robe as his composure cracks. The greatest revenge isn't defiance. It's making this ruthless man whimper. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like and subscribe.